Okay, I'll call it to order. I think we're just about right on time at 2:30. Bruce is not going to be here. I think everybody else is here. Joan came in a little late last time, so she may be late this time. Approval of minutes. Okay, we've had the minutes flying around. Did everybody get the most recent copy?
No,
Yes.
I have not seen either minutes or agenda for the last few months.
Huh.
Um,
I got the agenda
Okay.
and probably 3 or 4 different minutes.
Oh, okay. So there's some list I'm not on then.
Either
okay.
that or it's going to your spam folder. I had an issue one time when that was happening to me, and then I had to use a different email account.
Who would it have come from?
The minutes would have come from Kristen.
Yeah, okay. So let me check because
And
I've gotten other email from her.
Okay. And the
The agenda comes from Linda.
yeah, that would have come from me.
Oh, okay. So okay. So let me see. It would have gone to the green and only, right?
Yeah,
Probably. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I have nothing in spam.
So you've got none of the emails that were flying around this morning.
No. And I figure I'm probably I probably dropped off some email list maybe.
Okay, if you've gotten Kristen's, at least you have the minutes.
No, I
Oh,
don't. I don't. But I've
Oh.
gotten other emails from Kristen.
That's strange.
Okay, so it's just a comment. We can figure that one out later, or maybe
Okay.
send the next round to me or something. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll resend that.
Okay.
Move
Okay.
to accept minutes.
I'm sorry.
Pardon
What?
me?
Second.
Move to accept minutes.
I have just one correction. Under digital services volunteer hours, it says please send June hours to Kirsten. That should have been please send July hours. That's the only thing.
Okay, so we had a motion from Linda, a second from Bobby. And so I guess the motion is to approve the minutes as amended with the change from June to July.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, terrific.
Thank you.
Motion passed. I want to make a comment that does not affect the minutes. Under number 2, under my announcements, local chambers of commerce, I contacted them and only members can put brochures in their place. So unfortunately, we can't put any brochures in there.
Oh, which Chamber of Commerce was that?
Northport.
Okay, because of the Venice, you can. I know they really like having the Venice Audubon brochures, and we're not a Chamber of Commerce member. It's really expensive, so that might be an option for us.
Okay, terrific. I will contact Venice. Make a note.
Was the Englewood Chamber of Commerce notified already? I was not at the last meeting.
No, the only reason I even approached Northport was because Barbara Lockhart and I are eventually going to get around to planting plants in front of their building.
Right.
So that's the only reason I even addressed Northport, but I will contact Venice and Englewood.
Great.
Okay, treasurer's report. Willie.
So did you get the treasurer's report, Ann?
Yes, I got it directly from you. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I'm glad to know you're on my list. I made the comment about the encumbered funds, otherwise it's pretty self-explanatory.
we could entertain a motion to just transfer that annual $2,000, correct?
Well, I thought Bobby would do that when she did her grant thing. I mean, it's a grant issue.
Oh, okay. That sounds fine.
Do what Bobby wants. She's the boss.
Yep, it's on my
Okay.
agenda.
Okay, good. We will do that then.
Can you just state that again for the minutes?
Well, we're not gonna do anything until we get to Bobby's grant.
Oh, great, okay,
Section.
okay.
Okay, did anybody go to the August 9th mangrove walk at Lemon Bay?
No,
No,
Okay, I just happened to mention at the last meeting, just wondered if anybody went to it. I'd like to suggest that we join the Florida Wildflower Foundation for an organization like ours. It's $100 a year. For that $100, we get free publications, well, up to a limit. I can get a certain amount of free publications as, just on my individual membership, but I believe we could get more as a chapter. And they put out that 25 easy to grow wildflowers that's always tremendously popular. And
you
anyway,
making a motion?
yes, I need a motion.
Second, do it.
Go for it.
I'm
Who
sorry,
will
the
you-
motion was from, can you say your name? If you
Linda Manley.
No, I can't make a motion as
Okay,
president.
so make it Willie. I don't care. Make it any name you want. Willie
Okay.
made the motion, $100 to join FWF.
Great,
Second.
and that was,
Dave.
okay, great.
Okay, Willie, all those in favor of joining Florida Wildflower Foundation for a fee of $100, please say aye.
No
Aye.
discussion.
Excellent. Anybody
Do
opposed?
it. I'll send him a check.
Thank you, Willie. Okay, I had the August 17th interview with Renee LePere. I thought she asked way too much about me and not enough about the chapter, so I have no idea. I really suspect this is only going to be a paragraph in something else that she's writing about, and I'm afraid it's going to be a Florida-friendly article, which we'll see how she handles it. The mangrove survey results.
When does it come out? When will that be out?
She was
Do you know?
very iffy about that. She doesn't have a specific deadline. It's just when it gets together and she submits it. So my guess is she'll let me know.
When there's room, I guess,
Yeah,
when they
that's
can
about
pop
it.
it in. Yeah.
Okay, the results of the survey that we did, it was the small survey, not the big one that took you like 10 minutes, but this little one that only our chapter did, where Kristen sent the survey so we could all fill it out. The results that I sent in, of course, we had answers across the board on some of them, but first thing was participation in chapter activities. 6 people. Now, wait a minute. Okay. 2 people thought that was not an issue. 4 people thought it was a minor challenge. So I sent in the majority a minor challenge. Participation in chapter leadership. Almost everybody believed that was a major challenge. So that's the answer I sent in. Member retention. We had 3 as a minor challenge, 2 as a somewhat larger challenge. I sent in 3, which was the majority, which was a minor challenge. Membership growth. We were all across the board there. So I split the difference and sent in a minor challenge. Fundraising and financial security. We all thought that was not an issue. Well, no, not all. The majority thought that was not an issue. So that's what I sent in. Finding interesting programs and speakers, same thing. The majority thought that was not an issue. So that's what I put. Publicity and outreach. We had 2, 2, and 2 for answers. I split the difference again, put it down as a minor challenge. Keeping up with chapter administration. We had 2, 1, 2. So I split the difference on that and put it as a minor challenge. Oh dear, sorry about that. I don't know who it is. Membership management, we had 2 who thought that was not an issue, 3 who thought it was a minor issue. I put down minor issue. Virtual meeting technology, everybody thought that was a minor issue, so that's what I put that down. And that was the results of our survey. Sorry about that. Okay. We do not have the results yet of the big survey that we did. I would guess that it'll come out at the next COC meeting, and there was no August meeting, so that would probably be September.
Yeah, Linda, I'd like to jump in on that.
Sure.
She sent an invitation for the president, if the chapter president wants to attend that Zoom meeting. But I believe other people are invited as well, because, you know, they're going to be breaking down the individual chapters. So if you wanted to sit in on it.
I didn't get that invitation.
Well, it was an email, and I think I forwarded you the email. It was probably the end of July. So a lot of time has passed in between, and there was no meeting in August. But it's my understanding that in September, others can join if they wanted to be on that Zoom call. So I was kind of waiting to see, you know, when we get the email from Melanie about that, and then I would pass it out to people. But that was on my agenda to bring up today.
Okay. Sorry, it's getting warm in here. All right. Our library schedule, we are at Shannon Staub this month. That's been put up on Facebook. Joanne Glasewski, which is, she is a Sarasota County Master Gardener volunteer. She has offered her garden for a garden tour. So when we get around to having a garden tour or planning a garden tour, her yard is available. She has received, I'm sorry, I didn't write down everything, a gold award from the Florida Friendly Landscaping folks, and another award as well.
Where does she live?
South Venice. She actually, I think her address is 888 Mangrove Road. Very cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Easy to remember.
Our next board meeting is Tuesday, October 3rd. We're going to hold this in person at LC Quirk. It will be a hybrid, so anybody who can't be at LC Quirk on October 3rd, we will Zoom that as well. So we're going to have a hybrid meeting then. Okay, any question about all that stuff that I just ran over very quickly? All right, moving along. Digital Services and Historian Dave.
Okay, nothing, of course, an historian, because nothing has really happened in the chapter of the summer, but I'll update progress on Denny's slides next month. Last time I talked to Barb, thank you. She had some other issues to deal with, so it's not quite done yet. I'm not pushing her because no one else can do this but Barb, so kind of up to her to get it done. Starting tomorrow, I'll be doing a major update to information on our website. Haven't really touched it much since last year. So all of our confirmed walks, that's where walks where we know when, where, and who, and it's sure out, they'll go on there. Events, the first 4 meetings, we've got speakers confirmed, so those will go on there. Sunset strolls are all lined up, so those will be on. I'll mention the South Venice Yacht Club event. That's a go, right, Bobby? Plant Native Day, I can at least get the date in there. Don't have a lot of details yet, but we have a date. And all for books, videos not listed already. Hold on, I'm trying to interpret my own writing. Oh, well, one of the things that we have a kind of a resource page that has books and videos. If someone knows of a book or video that really should have on our website, let me know. Make an attempt to get it on there. Okay, stats. Website 88 visitors. It's a slow time of year, so it's less than 100. 550 page views. Most were the blog, grants, and resources. 20 file downloads, which I guess, Bobby, are more applications. Most visitors came from desktop and some from mobile and a few from tablets. Central website stats. Email broadcasts. We now track members and non-members separately. Messenger was sent to 121 members, 329 non-members, for a total of 450. The open rate for members was much higher. It was 72, well, 80% actually for the August members announcements. That's the email we sent in the middle of the month. For the September messenger, members opened at 72%, non-members 52%. And then the next thing coming up is volunteer hours. We're waiting August totals. Make sure you have sent yours in. I just sent mine in very recently. And if you know anybody who's not on the board, but is a member, has done something for the chapter, done something nature related, it involves some hours, we need to get that information from them. All we need is name, hours, and activity. We'll figure out where it goes. Also, if anyone, not among us, but someone else has done work for Sarasota County, parks, preserves, whatever, report that to Linda, because if they're if they're one of our members, that needs to get reported separately to the county. That's how we pay for our meeting room.
And as a Sarasota County volunteer, I have an account and just like put it in there. But now that I'm part of FPNS board, should I send it to you all instead?
At the end of the year, at the end of the year last year, Brenda Canales asked me for a member list, and she actually cross-checked all of our members, and any members who were Sarasota County volunteers, she transferred those hours to FNPS. So it was a lot of work for her, but she asked for it, so I sent her that.
Okay.
So I think you don't have to worry about it.
Great, thank you.
Dave?
I'm done. Next to social media.
Okay, 462 members as of the end of August, up from 439. There were 2,207 views, 56 comments, 54 posts, and the top post was Bobby Rogers' 2007 photo. I didn't recognize anybody on that, like the first time I looked.
There are only, I guess, 2 that are still active in our chapter.
Okay.
But it was interesting to see, because it was Denny and Al and
Yeah.
Dotson or Bill Dunson and Margaret were on it too. I think they're still members.
I would never have recognized Margaret.
And actually, the Holy Lands have been coming to meetings again. So
that's right.
They're still
right.
active.
That's great.
right.
Yeah, that's not bad from that long ago.
Yeah. But it's nice to have that group photo. I wonder if we should do that. Like,
Yeah, I've been scanning all of my old photos and I came on that one
Yeah.
and thought, oh, this has to go onto a chapter. Absolutely. So if I find any
Yeah.
other ones, I'll do that also.
yes, I think we do that for all the walks, but maybe not as formally as this one was.
That was a Casperson.
Okay.
Lori, that was that Alan Squires that I think you mentioned in one of your emails. Has
Yeah.
somebody told you the history with him? Because was a massive loss to us when he moved away.
Yeah.
I was speaking to the president of the Cocaloba chapter, and she mentioned his name. I said, I don't know him, but then I checked with Linda and Linda filled me in. Yeah. So he moved away and is
But
living
he's still active with the Native Plant Society. Yes.
with his granddaughter, and I can forward the email if you want to know what it is. I just thought that it was interesting. And yes, he is remembered.
Okay, if that's all on newsletters, I have something very sad to read. And Gail asked that I read this. To the Mangrove Chapter FNPS Board, I am resigning from the position of newsletter editor of the Mangrove Chapter of the Florida Native Plant Society, effective December 2023. My last newsletter will be the December 2023 issue. I have held this position for 6 years and worked with 2 wonderful presidents. It is time I relinquish the position to someone else. It has been an honor to serve and help promote the mission of the Florida Native Plant Society. Respectfully, Gail Finney. So Gail will be with us through the end of the year, but we need a newsletter editor. As far as time involved, Gail only ever turned in 2 hours for volunteer hours. So I don't know how she managed to get the newsletter together in that time, but I guess after doing it for 6 years, she had it down to a science.
Yeah. Constant Contact allows you to use the old newsletter for kind of like a template, then just make the changes in the content. But you have to have a knack for design, and she has that.
Will we
Yes.
be seeing her? Does she come back to our meetings or is she still living in what I think Kansas or wherever she's at?
To the best of my knowledge, she's down here, but
Is she?
I saw her at Plant Native Day when she made her donation of her own homegrown plants. And I was surprised because I thought she wasn't in the area, and she brought tons of plants. And she even had a sign that we used that day. You know, it was just a general native plant sign. But yeah, she was happy and she looked well.
Great.
I don't know why she doesn't come to meetings.
I was just thinking that it would be nice to make her a little certificate, like we do and present her. But if we don't see her, I guess we could even mail it to her. It's just one of those computer generated that we do as a thank you. 6 years is a long time.
I agree. And
We could maybe invite her, send a special kind of personalized invitation to the December membership meeting.
Yeah, could try to get her to see.
okay, I'll make a note.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, I'm so sad to have her leave.
Yeah, really.
Not that filling any position is easy anymore, but that could be a tough one. Okay, next up, we have 147 members, 3 new this month. It just amazes me that we continue to get new members during the summer, but I'm grateful. Joan is not here. I have not heard from Joan. Ruth submitted, actually no report. She said, the programs are the same as they were last year, or I mean, last meeting, the same report. So everything is unchanged there. Does anybody have comments? Yes?
Have we done a chapter rep, Laura? Laura,
Oh,
did you
it's
have anything?
Yeah, that I'm waiting.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
wait-
I
we're-
was. Yeah, wasn't I? Yeah, I typed up a few
Oh,
things.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. There's, there was no meeting in August, so a lot of this is just a recap of the July. And one of my questions was about the Native Plant Landscape Awards. I know there was talk of having the Venice Audubon Society for us to sponsor them. Did that happen?
It didn't. It was kind of a big undertaking to do the nomination. And I
Okay.
contacted them, like I met with the one of the new co-presidents months ago and talked about it. And I sent a bunch of follow-up emails, and I asked, remember at the last meeting, we said, could they pay for half of the application fee? And I asked about that and didn't get a reply for a long time. And then it was sort of like, oh, isn't that the grant you got last year? And I was always sending this with like links to the, to the application and the website and the process. And I talked about it over and over. And they just really didn't seem like invested or interested or anything. And I thought, why am I gonna, put in a few days, a few afternoons work if they don't even really support the idea. So I decided not to do it. And then the hurricane came too, but I decided not to do it. And maybe next year. But they just didn't seem like they were interested, even though I contacted them many times.
Yeah, I think it's just something for us to keep in mind, because it is an annual award and it was kind of new to me as well. But that way we could think of people to nominate for the landscape awards. All right, the next thing on my list was also about Arbor Day. As you may remember, FNPS is working with the Florida Federated Garden Clubs, so each club can donate a tree. We were told that we may be contacted by these clubs, and the only thing I want to report is I have not been contacted by anybody. I don't know if anybody else has, but it's my understanding my name is the contact name. So I just wanted to let people be aware of that.
And can you say a little bit more, like, so we're working with the Arbor Day Foundation.
No, it's basically the FNPS tapped two people to work with FFGC, the Florida Federation of Garden Clubs, and they are providing a grant. So on Arbor Day, these garden clubs can present a tree to whoever they determine. The criteria was it needs to be a native tree. Some garden clubs, I guess, declined involvement because they don't want it to be a native tree. They want the tree to be what they want. And then another criteria is they're hoping it would be a keystone tree, like an oak or an elm, something to that effect. So I think when these garden clubs get the letters and they see what's required, they may be like, well, we don't want to have the native or the FNPS involved. I don't know, but my understanding was the deadline for them to reach for me was the end of August. So I haven't heard. Okay, another thing for follow-up at one of our meetings is they made reference to the fact that on the FNPS website, under native plants, people could click and see where there are gardens for them to go and see native plants. One of them was Cedar Point. And I recently looked at that because I mentioned to them it should be removed. The mangrove chapter is no longer supporting that. And I saw it was still there. So I asked for that to be taken down. And I just want people to be aware it's still up. But if you know of any other gardens, and it's not, they don't want interpretive trails with, you know, native plants and signs. They want it to be a true native plant garden. If you know of any that can be recommended to go up on that website, you could let me know and I can make the suggestion. I know people have visited that urban park in Venice. I don't know if they
Oh,
have
the
one.
Venice Urban Forest?
Yeah. Do they have a native plant garden there?
Actually, they do. That thing is 100% native to the best of my knowledge. I mean, there may
Yeah.
be an occasional something that isn't, but they have restored everything they put in there has been native. That would be an excellent idea.
Yeah, and
That
they're,
is a great idea. Yeah.
yeah, they're signed, they're labeled. I haven't been there yet.
Oh,
Um,
it's an awesome place.
it is,
Mhm.
but there's nothing that's labeled.
Oh, I think that's one thing they want. They want to be like 75% natives. They want them to be labeled and signed.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate. No, there are no signs, no labels, but it's
Okay.
all native. And it's good sized. It's quite a long walk if you walk from end to end. We've never walked to the other end, in fact.
It's
Mhm.
long.
Yeah, I'll have to get there next time. All right, so let's see what's the next thing on my list. Oh, it's about the survey results that they're going to be communicated at the next COC board meeting, and others are welcome to attend via Zoom. The Zoom meetings are, it will be September 24th, the last Sunday of the month, from 6:30 to about 8 is how long they last. And I can forward. What's your question, Kristen?
I'm sorry, could you say that again for the minutes?
For the minutes, the survey results that the Council of Chapters was asked to provide. They're gonna be talked about at the next Zoom meeting, September 24th. And I was told that the chapter president and other board members who may be interested in attending are invited to attend. Also, the COC is looking for a vice chair and a secretary. They really want to pull through, you know, their chapter reps, but they said that they would go outside of the chapter reps if nobody stepped up to volunteer for those positions. So I just wanted to mention that those two positions were available there. And that's it.
Okay, sorry, I forgot you.
That's all right.
What time is the meeting on September 24th?
6:30.
Okay, 6:30. And so anyone can attend, and is the link on their website?
It will probably be from an email, and I will forward that email to everyone when I get it.
Great, thank you. And is the Venice Audubon pollinator garden on that map that you were talking about? I
No.
tried to look it up online, but I couldn't get to
No.
it.
I'll send you the link, Kristen, and you
Well,
can
no,
see.
I just didn't have time while I'm typing the minutes to do it simultaneously, but you could add that. You asked for ones that
I could, yeah. You know, and is that 75% native?
I don't know. I don't know if they have a tally. I know there is quite a bit of Florida friendly, but I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe I'll wait till I get down and I can pop over, look and see.
Yeah, the plant population has fluctuated since Ian and the drought.
Right.
Like in a lot of gardens, it's, you know, it's been hard to know exactly what's still kind of chugging along out there.
Yeah, because they
We-
don't want people driving there and not seeing what they expected to see. And
I
then
see what
also,
you mean.
if, if we thinking it's signed and then it's not living up to what they wanted.
We gave a grant, one of the $500 grants this year to a native garden in Punta Gorda. Now, I think it's probably a little bit manicured. It does have a walkway and all that. I believe one of the people from that group will be one of our speakers in December. So if we could wait and maybe talk to her more about it, that would be
Okay.
one, especially somebody for the Punta Gorda, somewhere in the Punta Gorda area that people could go, somewhere down south. So, but
Right. Yeah, there aren't many on that map in this area.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to be able to add more.
yeah.
Bobby, is that the history garden?
No,
Okay,
no. I don't know the name of it offhand.
okay, that's fine. Anything else, Laura?
No, I'm finished.
Okay. I think with Ruth not being here, we are down to publicity and field trips and Lori.
First of all, thank you, Linda, for being my mentor and coach and counselor and basically my everything. But
You're welcome.
I have made some progress. I'm running away from the sun. It's following me around here. So I do have 2 definite field trips booked, and I sent that information to Kristen, and I didn't send it to the rest of you because I figured Linda was going to be talking for me. And I didn't think I was going to be here. But we do have a trip with Jeff Weber in October on Sunday. I think it's the 14th. I didn't write that date down. And
It's
then
Saturday.
Saturday,
It's a Saturday.
to Old Mayaca Preserve, and we'll do a 2-hour walkabout, have a picnic lunch, then drive over to the nursery, the Florida Native Plant Nursery, have a picnic, bring our own lunch bag, and a little shop over there. So I need at least 2 weeks before an event to get it publicized in the 4 papers. We now have the Englewood Review, we have the Wave, and Boca Grande or Grand,
Boca
and
Beacon.
both Boca Beacon and the South Venice Beach Wave, I think is what it's called, are willing to put articles in for us. So I'm waiting for Jeff to reply so that I know where to tell everyone to meet. And I don't know if we want to carpool because of parking at the nursery, but we will worry about that closer to the date. And then Sunday, November 19th, Charlie Woodruff, who Linda said is a member, is willing to lead us on a walk at Stump Pass Beach. And it's going to be at 8:30 simply because of parking issues. And then I was waiting for December because Linda and Dave met Bill Dunson. No, sorry, not Bill Dunson, met Rob Mills at a walk in Pennington Park. And he said he would take us for a walk in November, which I had already booked with Charlie. But I've tried contacting, I've emailed this Rob twice and I've not heard back from him. So I may have an incorrect email. I can get to him through through the Peace River Audubon Society's website, and I can try again. I just don't want to nag him. Something's off for him, but I can try one more time. So maybe he'll take us for a walk in December, or Linda said maybe Bill Dunson will take us for a walk in December, or something will come up, or we'll not walk in December because it's silly season. And in January, Armando Ubida said he will take us for a walk in Lemon Bay. He's the mangrove expert. Just waiting for him to tell me what date he prefers. I told him later on in the month. I was communicating with him Friday, so we'll see. I'm expecting. He was very quick. When I asked him about January, he was really quick to respond. So I'm expecting he'll give us a date quickly. And then I have skipped past February and March to April. I was in touch with the president of the Coca Lobo Native Plant Society. Her name is Marlene Rodek. And they have a unique situation. I contacted them because I thought they were Fort Myers, but they're really Estero. So if we go
Oh.
there, it's going to be quite the excursion. But they were given, Estero has given them a tract of land, 12 acres, to clean up. It was given to them in 2015. And it wasn't until 2 years ago that she said that they were able to start doing work on it. So they have different, they've created several patches in there, like a couple acres at a time that they're working on. And the way that they work is they have, I asked for an official, if somebody would lead us on an official tour. And she didn't talk about that. She talked about the fact that they have their volunteers on site every day. And she said that on Tuesdays and Sundays, for sure, they have 2 volunteers, and the volunteers are scattered about the park, but happy to talk to visitors. So I was thinking of scheduling it on a Sunday, only because I figured the traffic would be better on a Sunday than on a Tuesday to get down there. And we have to just notify her in advance. We'll give her some notice well in advance what date we want to come down. But then they'll open up the gates so that we can get in and park. And that'll probably be likewise carpooling. And she said they are flush with cash, and they offered to treat us to a picnic lunch. And I immediately stopped her because I've had situations where people say they're coming and then they don't come. And I hate to waste food and somebody's time. I can go back to it. I can apologize for being so rash, but I just said to her, we will come with our own bagged lunches. And they do have a nursery on site as well. She called it a retail nursery, but I don't think it's like bricks and mortar. I think it's sort of like ad hoc type nursery. Anyways, she was really, really nice and very welcoming. So and she was the one that wanted to know about Al Squires. So I'll send her, Linda filled me, and I'll send Marlene the information that you gave me on Alan. And I sent her also our program schedule, thinking that maybe they would come up. But Tuesdays with the day that they have a lot of volunteers on their site, they probably won't, but you never know. Maybe she will come. Anyways, if she does, I'm happy to go out to dinner with her afterwards and do whatever so that we can entertain her. So then Linda helped me out with February and March. We can go to Brooker Creek Preserve. And I think that if we decide to do that, that's also an excursion. I think we should ask to be toured properly by a friend, which will mean that we will have to donate to their preserve. Otherwise, and the reason why I picked Brooker Creek is because James Stevenson is coming to speak to us. And I thought that might be a nice match. But I think they're pretty far. Anyways, we could donate to their friends and organize something that way. And then also we have opportunities with our local Florida Native Plant Nursery with a tour and a seminar that we can sign up for. So I think we will have a full lineup of little field trips for this year. And we'll see how it goes. And then of course we've got Mary and we've got Bill, and maybe we can do something also still with is it Cedar Creek with that pond? I've never been there, so it's all about me. If I can
Cedar Point Pond cleanup.
Check. Yeah.
Well, come and help us on our plant survey.
I'll be back by mid-December and there till probably all of April and maybe even May. Oh, and also I wanted to take you guys to, I don't know if you've ever been to Deer Prairie Creek. Someone took me for a walk through there and that was nice. And I don't remember doing any of that last year, but maybe you've done that before. But it said on their website that they have created a new map. Contacted the person in charge of that, left a phone message, have not heard back, but it's a bit confusing right now because I don't keep my US cell phone on. So if he called me back, I'll have to follow up with that, but we'll see. anyways, we touched.
Yeah. Deer Prairie Creek is really interesting because they just finished the bridge over. So there's this whole big area all the way up to 75 that has really not been accessible before. So I took a bike ride there, and it sounds like Bill Dunson would be interested in doing a walk there. But that's like a huge area, but that is definitely interesting. It was closed for the longest time after Ian, I believe.
So, that's a good idea. I can ask him to do that. I did contact Mary today. I emailed Mary to ask her if she's going to do anything. I haven't asked Bill yet because I think Bill doesn't come back till later in October, maybe November. So,
November or December.
I know he's busy doing what he's doing over there, and
his wife is ill.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully they will be
Yeah.
back. And so anyways, we'll see what happens, but we've booked for 2 months, almost 3, and we've got choices for the rest. And again, but Brooker Creek with the donation, that's up to you if you all want to do it. It is quite the ride out. So
They had the most amazing visitor center there. Linda and I were there recently. It's stunning.
It is. Yeah, the education center at Brooker Creek is just amazing. Just amazing. It's wonderful.
How long of a drive?
Pretty long.
Well, what, hour and a half, 2 hours?
Something like
Yeah, it's
hour
not,
and a
it's
half,
not
maybe.
really ridiculously long. You cross the Skyway Bridge and get into, what is it, St. Pete there, and it's really not that far once you cross the Skyway.
so I think if we decide to do that, and I think we should ask their society, their friends to tour us and give them a donation. And then I don't know if you want to talk about that now or the next board meeting to see what.
Let's wait until we get have an actual date for that.
Okay. All right, I'll contact them and see what I can arrange. And I think that's it.
I had a question and a suggestion. So with the newspapers that you mentioned, it looks like it was the, let's see here. Englewood Review, Boca Beacon, South Venice Beach Wave, and then there was a 4th.
Yes, help me, Linda.
Waterline?
Yes, that's it.
Excellent, thank you. And then my suggestion was, I don't know if you've ever done one at Carlton, but I just remember being amazed at there's kind of a path that goes around a wetland, and just looking at sundews and all kinds of plants at different seasons there in that area that recently burned.
Carlton as in Carlton?
Yeah, Carlton Mabry Reserve. It's in Venice. It's amazing. I mean, there's just, even in the drive up, there's I mean, some of it's been burned and was pretty stark for a while. But some of it, like when you drive up, there's trees that you could just spend, well, maybe not you, but I could spend an hour at some of those trees because they're just covered with amazing fungus and plants and just all kinds of stuff. So, and it's, and all of that is kind of near where you park. Venice Audubon does tours kind of in the back roads because we have a relationship with the park and can get in, and actually have a vehicle out there and not walk too far. But
I like
it's
that.
It's beautiful.
Well,
Okay.
there are, our problem is not finding a place to have a walk. Our problem is finding a leader to take us. Because just going someplace without a leader is, well, you can't do it. You got to have somebody in charge, and you got to have somebody explaining this and that. So, we can coordinate with our leaders and find out where they want to go. And
Okay. I think part of the reason I suggested that is because they do have a relatively strong friends group. And I don't know if they do that or not, but that might
Okay,
be
something
something
to
to look
consider.
into.
All right, I will look into that as well and see how that works. And I may bump Deer Prairie Creek then. And go to that, try to research that instead and save Prairie Creek till I can visit there and talk to the park manager and see if he would lead or whatever, or one of us would lead. So
I just did a walk at Sleeping Turtles North, and it was led by one of the Sarasota County Extension Service guys. So they also will lead walks apparently for people on Sarasota County properties like Carlton or Deer Prairie Creek, perhaps.
Okay. I did talk to, it was Sarasota County who I phoned, and she gave me the number for that person. The man that manages that Deer Prairie Creek. But again, I don't keep my US phone on. I'm very fortunate. My son gave me a rejected US phone. So I have 2 cell phones. I don't use that one. I don't want to get caught using it out of the country too much. But I put his number in that I called, unless he called me back from another number, but he didn't leave a message. So, so anyways, I'll wait with that one, and we can keep that for next year.
You know who else does a really great walk, a great guy? You just have to do it at his walk, is Chris Myers, who did what was it, Myakka River Preserve. And what's the other one where all the cattle are? He does, which I don't know if it's great for us to do a walk, but
like
the
Walton
Walton?
Ranch or something?
yeah, is it the Walton Ranch? Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
Walton or Taylor?
No, it's not Taylor, it's Walt, must be Walton.
I think it's Walton, yeah.
But he
Yeah,
did
Kate-
it at he
yeah.
did it at Myakka River Preserve, is it? The one down on the river, remember? And he does a great walk.
Oh,
No, it's
yeah,
not
Mayakahatchee, right?
No, not the
Myakka
Myakkahatchee.
Island Point.
Thank you, Linda.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
All of those places, we used to go there a lot, and then they
Yes.
were closed because of Ian.
Well, probably because of a storm before that, but whatever. But he did that. We haven't been there a long time, and that was always
Yeah.
kind of a neat little place
How
to
do I
go.
find Chris Myers?
I could probably send you his email. He's a friend on Facebook and stuff for it with me.
All right, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Good. It's working out. Calendar's getting filled. And 2 weeks notice, actually 3 weeks notice I need.
Okay. As soon as I get it.
Is that everything?
I think that's everything.
Lori?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, Bobby, you're up.
Oh, okay. As far as the grants, almost over. September 30th is our deadline. We have received 45. That's a total that we received. Of that, 16 have been paid. Okay. So now more could come in. We've 13, we're awaiting receipts. Looking at those applications, I don't think any of those are going to come in. Most of the people I've not heard from since the very inception. But they do have a chance to send receipts, okay, and be paid. And I'll send a report on this once it's over, come October, beginning of October, with all the numbers and everything. But right now we are over you would have looked at Willie's treasury report. I believe it's $221.43 that we will need to put into that grant fund for this year to pay for the outstanding grant that have been paid. Okay, so I don't know if you need a motion for that or not.
You don't
And
want to
then-
add any money to that, Bobby, in case somebody shows up? I mean, just because we don't spend it.
Well, do we want to move that 2,000 for next year right into it now? We have to move that in anyway. It has to be, as I take it, we are going to do the public grants for next year, not the private, but the public. So we will be putting in $2,000 anyway. So do we want to put in 2,221.43 for now, or?
What about 2,500? Because you say
That's-
there's 13 awaiting receipts. Is that 221 part of that?
No,
No.
we just paid a $500 one. That took us over the $2,000. So that's what put us in arrears basically of 221. So that's not counting any of the 13 that we await receipts. But like I said, I don't think they're going to come in, but they could. I mean, they have until the end of the month.
Well, we need some kind of a motion.
Well,
So
I-
do we? Oh, I probably can't motion, can I? Because it's my
Yeah,
I
you
idea.
can.
would suggest putting in 2,500 in case there's other receipts come in. Even though it's unlikely, but you may get $100 or something.
Yes. Okay.
And then at the beginning of October, I'll just bring it down to the 2,000, which was our initial
Okay.
plan, correct?
We need a second.
Second,
Okay, all in favor of transferring $2,500, perhaps to be adjusted later, for the grant fund? Oh, wave your hand.
yay, yes.
My hand's waving.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll do the report in October. I'm also going to send out confirmation to people to see if they want to assist with the site visits. So that would be good, just to make sure.
Right,
And then Dave, I'll have to send Dave a copy of the new grant, which may have a few little changes to it to post the beginning of October. We have had a contact already that has asked for it, and that was a public grant. Somebody apparently, if she follows through, is going to be sending in an application for a public $500 grant. So I told her October, beginning of October, the new grant application would be posted on our website and she could get it there.
And before that, I'm sorry, there was something I didn't catch about a site review.
Oh, yes, once we receive an application from the proposed grantees, we do a site visit. We go and we look at the site, and we're always looking for new people to do it. I have had some people who have not helped, who said they were going to, and I've also had some people offer to help this upcoming year. So I'll be replying to that list of people to confirm my list of who is going to be helping next year.
And what, can you say a little bit more about what that entails?
It's really the fun part. We go to the app. I set up a date and a time for to go and visit the applicant's yard, their site that they have that they want the grant money for. And it's fun because you get to see their yard. Sometimes they have plants that they have identified that they want to put in that just aren't going to go there. They're not going to live for various reasons. So we are able to recommend things. So it's a lot of fun to go there and talk and meet with the people who come.
And that sounds interesting. I'd like to do that as my schedule allows.
Well, that's what I do. I once we set up the dates, a tentative date, I asked the grantee what dates will work for you. When are you home? She or he sends me dates. I send it out to my people, my list of helpers. And if you can help, great. If you can't, you can't. It is totally. So I'll put you on my list. Thank you. Okay. So I
Next
think
is your
that's
education and outreach, Bobby.
okay, so that's the grants. Let's see, education. Oh, Speakers Bureau. Jane Neville has said that she would be on our Speakers Bureau. So we have added someone there. Okay, so that's good. Kristen, you want to do that too? Then let's see. Outreach, what else we got? Oh, the next program that we have is the Alligator Creek Festival on October 7th, and Kristen and I will be going to that. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. I put in the thing that said that we would eat lunch. They give us lunch. So so that's going to be, we do need to get some kind of a gift. They ask all of the vendors, of which we are one, to donate something representative of their organization to that they're able to raffle off. Last year it was books. Last year Dave won the big grand prize, for that matter. So we're looking into what we can get for these people. You know, Linda and I have been talking about it. So after that, we've got a couple. We have in, let's see, October, that's October 7th. October 16th is South Venice Garden Club. That is Jane Neville is going to be speaking at that one for us. We do have November 4th, the Charlotte County Eco Fair. That's at the Charlotte Inglewood Library and Community Center, Tringali, basically. So I can go to that, or if anybody wants to help with that, but we'll be putting this out there that we're looking for help. The Northport Conservancy on November 5th. The Manleys will be helping with that. So we've got a bunch going on, and people are jumping forward to help, which I think is wonderful. I thank you all.
Bobby, I have a question. What
Yes.
does Jane Neville speak about?
She's going to be speaking about a lot about birds and native plants is her gig.
Okay.
You know,
Mhm.
because she's into both. She also
Okay.
helps with the site visits for the native plants for the grants, and she does a great job on that too. So that's what
Right.
she'll be speaking on. And I think that's all.
And on the agenda, it said Ava Lassiter for youth. Do you know what that's about?
Yes, we had talked about having a youth coordinator, trying to get involved, getting some of the high school and college age students involved in basically some educational and work projects, and possibly getting them some credit hours for graduation and some of the grants, scholarship grants. So anyway, we put that out there, and one of our new members, this Ava Lassiter, said that she's interested. So Linda Manley and I are meeting her this Thursday to talk to her. We're not quite sure what her ideas are, if she's talking more younger kids or, you know, but we are going to go in there with our agenda and what we're looking for, and talk to her this Thursday. So that's what that is.
That's it, Bobby?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Next up,
And
conservation. What?
just an idea in terms of youth. I don't know if I said something about this with you all or if it was in another context, but there's actually a scouts patch that includes native plants. Whoever wanted to be really ambitious and have, you know, the scout leaders look for people who would like to teach different, I'm sorry, patch merit badges, right? And there's one for native plants, so, or it's related to, horticulture.
Hmm.
And so it has a lot of neat stuff in there. So that was just something I'd like to throw out related to youth stuff.
Scouts
that-
can be I've found that scouts can be hard. I mean, that's great because I would get them started and get them interested because they already have a merit badge and everything. But boy, I've worked with a lot of scout groups, and you get to know the leader, and then they quit because their kids are out of scouts at that point after a few years. So I've lost contact of all my scout leaders. If we do want to go that direction, what would have if we could find out if anyone knows scout leaders that we could address with that.
Willie. Conservation policy.
I just wanted to throw out with this yard grant stuff that I would be really curious, like 5 years from now, to see how many of them are still. How would we possibly track that, Bobby? Anyway, I'm just throwing it out.
Well, actually, we have their contact information. And we could contact with them. Some of them I contacted to come and speak on in December even. So and we, as long as they stay local. As a matter of fact, one of the grants that was denied, of which there were how many denied? 10 denied for various reasons. One of them was denied by the grantee, because she was moving and she didn't want to put in plants that weren't going to stay. So that would be interesting. That is something we could try to do.
Did we do grants in previous administrations? I don't remember.
Yes, we've done public grants, and I have some of that information. Jane Wallace headed that up. We did Green Street Church, so that we did a couple, and I have that. We could contact them or even just go by and look at them since they're public places for that matter.
I was gonna say, it sounds to me like a road trip day when we could drive around and look at these gardens and take pictures, and someone, namely Bobby and not me, could write up a little something. Anyway, that was just
Yes.
by the way.
And
So
Always
you
up for a
guys-
road trip.
there
is,
you go. And cooler weather, please God, let's do it.
is there a time limit to which they could apply again? Like if they wanted to get one started and then, add on to it later?
Oh, they can do one every year. We've had people do that.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
That
definitely.
would be even more interesting with the multiple applicants, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a thought and a suggestion to track these. They could be potential landscape award people that we sponsor, like in 2 years. I think that was one of the criteria. The garden had to be in place for at least 2 years. And maybe we could go back in 2 years and then to honor them for their efforts by sponsoring them for an award.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Have we sponsored awards in past administrations?
No,
Just Palmetto Awards for individuals within our chapter, as far as I know.
but not landscape awards. I've never heard of
No.
that before.
No,
Mhm.
no.
I was actually gonna try and do one on my property and have you guys pay for it, but I looked at it and I thought it was ridiculous. I mean, for somebody, I'm not, you know me, I hate computer shit anyway. And I don't know how you feel, Kristen, but that was not an easy thing that they wanted you to do. And I get that, but anyway. So I'm gonna get to.
It made me wonder, like, if they're gonna get that many applicants. I don't know if this is the first year they did it or the first year with the revised application. But it was, it was pretty complex. Like I got it after I read it a few times and then I could kind of see I could sort of see it. But if I was just someone who was like, maybe I'll do this, my first impression was like, oh my God, this is going to take so long. And that's sort of why I lost my steam. If there was a group that I was going to do it for that was like, yes, this will give us such good publicity and raise our profile and be such a great thing for our organization, then I would have totally done it. But yeah, it's complex, and I don't really know why.
And I love your energy and your positivity, which I have neither of. So if there's 2 people in this chapter that didn't attempt an award, if there's at least 2 people in all the other chapters that didn't attempt the award, anyway.
Yeah, that's
So
feedback for me to bring to the COC if it comes up on the next meeting. Okay,
there you
Linda.
go. There
Yeah.
you go. It was also weird for me because I've been on my property for like 40 years. So it was hard for me to work out the grant they had to do my 40-year-old property. You know what I mean? But they're
Okay.
probably trying to get newbies more interested. Okay, so to Echo Swift, which is generally not positive news. I think I did send out, and maybe I didn't, a New York Times article on water. And I wished that Ruth was here today because in that New York Times article, Colorado, who I take to be, hippy dippy, enviro, smoking pot, loving the world, has no limits on groundwater withdrawal. 0. Whether you're a person or a company, you can withdraw as much water as you want in 2023. I'm just going to leave it there. There's a Climate Action Now app, which is going to be doing an Eventbrite thing. I'm sure all you guys have done Eventbrite. You can sign up if you want to. And they're going to be talking about our lovely governor's move to veto $350 million for Florida from the Inflation Reduction Act, because apparently none of us need money here. So we discussed the Prager University in Florida schools, which if you guys don't know anything about Prager University, please Google it because it's scarier than shit. Our peace pole got knocked down. It's only been up a week and there was already an accident in the middle of Englewood that knocked down the peace pole, but it will go back up. We are actually speaking, and I mean Becky Ayesh, because she is such an amazing person. Her and Earth Justice has been actually talking to 3 representatives in EPA about, I think this is water. I'm sorry, to discuss FDEP's air quality monitoring program. Sarasota and Manatee have only coastal sites. Anyway, it's just curious that little old Echo Swift in Sarasota, Florida is talking to EPA people. Not that anything's going to change, but And October 1st, there is a hootenanny at the Mayaca Community Club in Sarasota from 9 to 3, I believe. You can come up for food and games and fresh air and be out in the country. Is Native Plant open on Sunday, Kristen?
It sure is.
So then they can go there before or after yeah, I'll be working there that day. And the last thing is there was a leak on Charlie Creek from Mosaic. It was not reported for a couple of weeks, but it finally came out because some people couldn't keep their mouths shut. So the one who never leaks is leaking. And that's the end of my report from Echo Swift.
You're right. There's never happy news from Echo Swift.
No, No, but it is curious that they're talking to Echo Swift, a little tiny group from the federal government. I think that's a positive thing. Whether anything comes of it or not, at least we're trying.
Echo Swift has been around a long time though too, so.
Yes, and we've done amazing things, and we've
Mhm.
actually had that case in the Supreme Court. So, yeah, I wanted to go to that, and I'm sorry I didn't. One thing I'm sorry I didn't do.
Does anybody else have anything to add? Well, if not, we'll adjourn the meeting. And could you hang around for just a minute?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you all.
Uh-oh,
for coming.
Anne has to stay after class. Oh no.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.